If you're looking to get the latest updates from Microsoft 365, but don't want to spend hours sifting through the 100 or so announcements like me, stay tuned because in this episode I'm going to be covering all the latest updates, changes, and enhancements that you don't want to miss. Okay guys, so just a quick reminder, I do supplement this video with a blog post with more helpful information about all these announcements, so be sure to check that out after this video. Diving in here though, we're going to start with Microsoft Teams as we usually do. First one here is just related to the intelligent meeting recap. You get this if you have a Teams premium license or a Copilot license. And this is a new application that you can access here in the app section of Teams that will get you to all of your intelligent recaps across all of your meetings in a single location. So just nice consolidation there, something you could do to navigate past meetings or follow-ups that you need to do. Timelines on this one's early July, be complete by early August. Other one here specifically for Copilot and AI meeting archives. This one I think is a little bit sketchy in the sense that it's basically taking the AI generated meeting archive file and putting it into a central tenant repository so that in future conversations, Copilot and the facilitator agent can deliver more accurate context-aware responses. Now they mentioned that access is going to be gated by who had access into that meeting as an example, but I think it's going to be a little bit harder to manage in that way. More information is in my blog post about this one, but timelines on it's mid-September and be complete by late September. Hey guys, just a quick break here. If you're looking to run rapid security assessments across Microsoft environments and then be able to remediate the findings right from the same portal, definitely check out a tool that I built called CloudCapsule. You can run a scan on an average tenant in about 60 seconds, and we produce these reports here that map to typical compliance frameworks like CIS and NIST as an example. And from within here, you can actually see all the findings of evidence, why it matters, the licensing considerations, everything like that. You can manage all of your tenants if you're an MSP in one spot here. And then within these baselines, as an example, I'll go into a quick fix example here. This is a way for you guys to go in and actually start remediating policies right from our portal. This will show you the end user impact and show you the setting value change. So you'll be able to get a lot of quick wins in the sense of uplifting their secure score, but getting into a continuous and security improvement motion. So if this looks interesting and you guys want to check out a free assessment or run a free assessment, head over to cloudcapsule.io and run a free assessment today. Shifting into the Microsoft 365 apps, a couple announcements here for OneDrive. This first one is giving admins the capability to exclude specific folders from syncing with the OneDrive file sync. This would be folders that you don't necessarily need to back up or have machine-specific related folders like your PowerShell modules as an example. Timelines on this one is mid-August, to be complete by late August. You can find more instructions on how that will work in the blog post that I have supplementing this video. Next one here is this edge enforced restriction for screen capture that is for sensitivity labeled PDFs in OneDrive or SharePoint. So if you've labeled something with the MIP label or information protection label, you have this capability now from a restriction perspective to say do not allow screen capture. And timelines on this one's mid-August and be complete by late August. Other one here is just an update from a UI perspective where OneDrive on the web experience here will have the document library views that you would have for the SharePoint document libraries you can access in a single view. So just not having the tenant switch as much there. Timelines on this one's mid-July and be complete by late July. So it should be out by the time you watch this video. Shifting into Microsoft Entra here, this is definitely one of the most popular announcements this month. Microsoft's making this secure initiative here to make passkeys the default method when users are registering their MFA methods here in lieu of even Authenticator at this point. But they're also going to be deprecating the SMS and voice authentication methods, which are inherently weaker and more susceptible to things like social engineering, which is highly proliferated now that we have AI in focus as well. So timelines on this one, this is going to start in September, where they're going to be transitioning the default method that you sign up with as a passkey, and then they're going to deprecate SMS and voice starting February of next year. Coupled with that, this other announcement here is optimizations for passkey registration. And I'm not going to get into the weeds on this one because it's a little bit more particular, but effectively as an admin, you can configure different settings in the authentication methods policy that would change the end user experience. And up to this point in time, it hasn't really complemented that with the messaging that the user sees. So they're trying to overcome that, make it a little bit easier to go ahead and register that method. But timelines on this one is late August and be complete in late August timeframe, so about that same month in that particular case. Next one here is also tied to passkeys, but basically this is an improved restoration experience if a user loses their phone, as an example, and they have that device-bound passkey in Authenticator.
This isn't going to resurrect that key, obviously, because it's device bound in that particular case, but it will get the user through a more guided flow, where today it's basically like they have to know to go delete it and re-add a new device bound passkey as part of this experience. So interested to see what this will look like in general, just from the user point of view. But this will happen in August of this year. Next one here is passwordless password change, which is a little bit wordy in that sense, but in my sign-ins, this is a really specific use case. You wouldn't think that you'd want to give users the ability to change their password if they're passwordless, but apparently there's enough volume in the sense of organizations still using some passwords for some legacy authentication or legacy applications and services where they still need to know that. And they're going to allow users to reset their password without knowing the current one or having to go through some type of self-service password reset flow. But they will need to authenticate with one of their passkeys or Windows LO or something like that before they can actually generate the new one. Timelines on this one will be late October and be complete by that same time frame. This other one here is another security update coming from Microsoft. This is a first wave of them retiring CSS positioning properties for custom branding. Basically, attackers are leveraging this a lot for things like man-in-the-middle pages that represent or have lookalikes to your corporate page or Microsoft's login page in this sense. And so this first one is removing this positioning property, but they do intend, and it's in their documentation, to remove CSS altogether, and at least at the time of this recording. So it's good to know that and understand these changes. Some more helpful articles are in my blog as part of this, but this will happen around the October timeframe and complete in November. Next, shifting into Intune here. This one I think is really cool. I haven't seen it in my environment yet, even though it should have come out here in July, but effectively this is solving for this use case of a feedback loop whenever you go through and try to sync a device. And just understanding like this is in limbo at this point. You don't get any feedback about what's happening. Is anything coming back? You just have to keep refreshing the page to see the sync status. And so this is giving you a better feedback loop, as you can see here in this screenshot. And this will be happening on this device page, device overview, and then a single device action status basically is how they're showing it in this screenshot. Again, I haven't seen that yet, but by the time you're watching this, you can check that out and see if that's in your portal. Shifting into Microsoft Copilot here, this first one is giving you capabilities to chat and work with Planner in Copilot Chat. So this is something that if you use that tool for project management, things like that, you'll be able to do more interactions, heavier integration. This will happen early September. Next one is for OneDrive stored user-defined custom skills. I've talked about custom skills in the past, or skills in general. If you're not sure what that is, it's basically just a markdown file where you could give instructions for something maybe you do on a repeat cycle as part of this. And in this particular case, you can go ahead and store a certain skill that you may want to use every time you create a PowerPoint presentation, right, as an example, or for a certain slide. It could be on that micro layer. But timelines on this one is late July and be complete in the same time frame. So ideally, you'll be able to access this by the time this is out. And then the other one here is the skill in Excel for a brand kit. I talked about this last month with a brand kit in PowerPoint, which makes a lot of sense from like a marketing perspective. And now they're extending that into Excel, so as you can see in the screenshot, just to get the same branding, typography, color scheme, etc., to create these professional reports in Excel. Timeline's mid-July and be complete by mid-August. Outlook here, I think this was a great update. I've really hated working on the side of Outlook to go ahead and use Copilot to start to draft things versus what they've shifted it to now, which is making it inline. As you can see here in the screenshot, timelines on this one's mid-July and be complete by early August. Last two here are related to agents, and specifically here, this 365 Copilot agent can now support multiple users. The constraint here before is if I go ahead and create an agent, nobody else can own that. I have to be in charge of it, and so on and so forth. So you want teams, managing these agents over time for their life cycle, right? As an example, timelines in this one's mid-August. And then the last one here for Copilot is this Copilot Studio one where you can share autonomous agents to end users. And this is thinking like if I go in and draft an agent that can do some autonomous workflow, I might want to give that to another user and they just authenticate with their credentials, and then that agent can go do the same thing for them, right? In that particular case, that might be, skimming through my email every day and creating drafts. Could be a lot of different use cases, right, with that. So public preview of this is at the end of July. So you'll have to wait. There's no GA timeframes yet, but if you're in public preview or part of the Frontier program, you'll be able to test that out. And then shifting into the last section here, which is the admin section. This first one's related to Microsoft Defender for Office 365 and safe attachments. This is extending capabilities here. We can introduce this opt-in for safe attachments to quarantine emails that have password protected attachments that cannot actually be scanned by the service. You can set that to go to quarantine automatically when that happens. And then administrators can control the release. Users can self-relieve with passwords, and it supports various file types. So a lot to unpack with that one, especially if you want to give access to those documents or have them quarantined. But timelines on that one is early August and late August. More information on my blog if you guys want to check that out. Next one here I thought was a really cool security update in Defender for Office 365 around prompt injection. This is thinking about if an attacker go ahead and sends like a malicious prompt that your email is triaging and some agent is automatically, taking in. That can lead to data extraction, lead to manipulative actions as well too. We've seen this from shows like DEF CON as an example. And so this is some native protection that'll be on by default as part of this. You can check more about this in my blog, but this will happen early September and be complete by early September, so roughly that same time frame. Next one here is for Purview. This is really basic, but it's basically giving you time-bound access for certain admin assignments that you would have, which I think is a good practice, much like we do in Entra. PIM is bifurcated with some of the roles still because of how disjointed Microsoft is. But effectively, when you go and assign like a compliance role, it's not tied to the Entra portal, and you may want to have temporary access with that. So timelines on this one's late July and be complete by late August. Next couple here are related to licensing. So this first one is an introduction of basically a Copilot trial for business users. And so with this, you get a 30-day trial for 25 users that have Microsoft 365 Copilot with the business SKUs. And this is something that you can use to just pilot this out, see if it's effective before paying any money or going into any type of annual contract or anything like that. Timelines on this one's August, where this is actually going to be GA, where you could go purchase that. You can work with your CSP distributor like a Pax8 to procure that as well. The other one here I thought was interesting because they've gone through multiple iterations now of like, well, there was just the generic Copilot SKU. It was $30 a user. And then they made a Copilot for business SKU, which was $21 a user. That's separate than your base level cost. But now they're combining it into a single SKU called Microsoft 365 Copilot, or Microsoft 365 Business with Copilot, and they have one for standard, business standard, and one for business premium. But effectively here, it's even cheaper. If you get it on business premium, it's $32, and that base plan is $22. So you're really getting Copilot for an additional $10, which is pretty great comparatively speaking to $30 or $21. So definitely, if you waited, you get the best price in this particular case. But you can check that out. And again, this has to be under 300 users in order to be able to purchase that SKU. The very last one here, I won't be going in depth. I'll probably do a separate video on this, but Microsoft came out with their incentive updates that they do every year. Their fiscal year starts in July. So their fiscal year 2027, they kicked off this update to the program. If you're a CSP provider getting incentives for reselling Microsoft, TLDR is pretty terrible. They did a lot of price cuts, putting everything into growth. So if you thought the program was terrible before, it's even more so now. For most MSPs out there, in my opinion. You can check this out. I linked out some other articles that go through this if you guys want to dissect that in general. But if you're getting a lot of incentives today, you're likely going to get a lot less in the future here. So be sure to check that out after.
Okay guys, that's everything I had for you today. Definitely comment below with any of the features you're most excited about. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week.